Morning, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us for one of our usually bi-weekly For the Record St. Albans Today shows. Happy to have on the set Brendan Deso, the Selectboard Chairman in St. Albans Town. Morning, Brendan. And St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith.
Hello, Richard.
Hey, happy New Year. Jeez. Let's hope it turns out to be a decent New Year. I guess for the worst day in the state, the deadliest day yesterday in Vermont, I believe, for the coronavirus.
Oh, is that right?
Nine more deaths, 165 new cases, I think.
Yep.
I think I just heard driving in on CJD Montreal radio. I think Montreal's maybe talking a curfew, maybe starting tonight or soon, an 8 p.m. curfew. But
Really?
boy, it sounds like things at the moment are still in pretty tough shape, even as vaccines start coming in a bit.
Not going in the right direction.
Boy, it doesn't sound like it, huh?
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. That really contagious strand from the UK. making
Right,
its
the
way
new
into New
variant
York.
from UK.
You see, Cuomo was on TV yesterday, and he threatened to fine hospitals up to $100,000 if they didn't expedite vaccine rollouts because they're falling behind their projections, and that's happening all over the country. We're lucky. You know, we've got a really good team of people at NMC. I heard through the grapevine that a week or two ago they randomly had like almost 750 or 1,000 doses of vaccines
Really?
show up that they weren't expecting, and they rolled it out to as many people as they could, including like local dentists and whatnot, anybody with patient access. So it really makes, our local response makes a lot of sense, but watching what's happening in Washington and the way that it's progressing in other more populated areas of the country tells us that we're probably into this for the long haul. It's not going to be over by summer. We're probably looking at August, September before we can see any type of herd immunity is my guess, but very, very challenging. Very challenging.
I guess, Tim, in terms of restrictions, anything new in the city? I mean, city and town hall still closed to the public. Anything new on that front?
No, status quo. I think the majority of the people are doing what they're supposed to do, and I think in terms of downtown, a lot of the businesses made it through the end of the year with a decent year, considering everything that was going on. But no, the city's not looking at doing anything right now that's anything different than what we have been doing over the last 9 months.
Yeah. Brendan, the town, anything new to report in the town?
No, we're in the same spot. I mean, I guess I can say the pandemic, going through something once in a generation, hopefully, like this, will show you what you're made of. So we've really taken stock of what, our positives and what our negatives are, and we find that our staff's exceptional. Much like City Hall, we've got really great people that work for our two municipalities in this community, and we found that our website really lacked online tools. So we're looking at bringing the town into the 21st century digitally. We've appropriated money from impact fees and have issued a couple of RFPs and actually executed a contract with a company that does large municipalities and websites throughout the country, and we're getting started on that process. We hope to have it launched by May 1st. We also are spending, it doesn't make much sense to spend that kind of money. It's about $8,400 to do a fairly state-of-the-art new website. When we issued that RFP, we got 6 proposals or so. We picked up one right in the middle. We had some that were cheaper that didn't have the tools we needed. We have some that we had one proposal that was $80,000 a year. So it's really what you want to spend. It's like anything else. You can make a bathroom in your house cost $5,000. You can make it cost $150,000. So we went with something that was user-friendly and economical, and we decided, if we're asking for a new town hall, our current logo scheme is the current town hall. And if we're going to launch a new website, it doesn't make sense to do all the design work around an old brand identity. So we actually just issued an RFP and hope to bring consultants on in February to work with a subset of town employees and volunteers to build out a new logo, build a new color scheme, And we really want to tie it in with our history, both locally and paying homage to the original St. Albans in the United Kingdom. So we're looking at blue and yellow. Our fire department's blue and yellow, and then actually the charter school in St. Albans, their crest has red in it, and our public works facility and our trucks are red. So we're trying to make all of our public safety color schemes work towards our identity, because, we know our identity as a municipality is public works and the fire department. So that's where we've really dived into, figuring out where our weaknesses are. And we found money on hand, just sitting in accounts, waiting to be spent on projects like these, and we're trying to get it done. We wish we would have had the foresight, like everybody else, to have it ready for, May 1st of this year. It might have been an easier summer for the clerk's office. We intend to leverage technology to save our employees time and hopefully help us not to have to expand our staff as quickly as we might have to otherwise. So that's really where we're at, and long way around, but
Getting within a couple months now, March town meeting day, March 2nd. It's a couple months away. I checked with Anna Borden, the St. Albans town clerk, yesterday. Brendan, nothing I have to tell you, but I guess yourself and Brian Delorier, the only two candidates at this point who filed for the select board. You for a 2-year term and Brian for a 3-year term. Yeah. Filing deadline still a few weeks away, January 25th. Are you hearing any other names of potential candidates?
I haven't. When Governor Scott told the world early this summer, late this spring, that he wasn't going to campaign through the primary because he had a job to do, I really respected that. And I feel like we've asked a lot of our staff. We were shorthanded for a couple months before we brought on our new zoning administrator and director of operations. And we kept moving at full steam. So there's some things that need to be worked out, behind the scenes. And if I'm worried about the campaign, I'm not going to be able to help like I need to. So I haven't been paying attention much to the campaign atmosphere. We're really focused on doing our jobs, and we're trying to make sure that we use Stan Dukas's expertise in certain areas to accomplish certain tasks before he's off the board. There's some personnel things. He managed a lot of people at IBM for a lot of years, so we're working with him to, bring that corporate mindset into our small municipality so that we make sure that, our employees always get a fair shake on their evaluations and whatnot. So there's a lot in front of us. There's about probably 50 different things going on that I could list, literally like 50. And to be able to really focus on a campaign right now would mean that, I wouldn't be able to do my fair share of the work. So
I should note, we're live, folks. Always good to get a phone call. Doesn't happen much, but we're a live show. If you happen to be watching us live, 528-5315. Mr. Mayor, you're almost halfway through your second 2-year term. A couple of city council seats, of course, coming up at March town meeting. Any of the incumbents? I'm not even sure what wards they are. The incumbents planning to?
I think it's 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Kate Laddison and Chad Spooner, and I believe not that I haven't had discussions with them, but the expectation is they both will be running again, as far as I know.
Well, it seems like it's not that often we get a city council race these days, but we'll see. But again, filing deadline's still a ways away. But budget, are you close to putting together a budget?
Budget, city manager and Tom Lights, the director of accounting, continue to meet, and we'll have something before us on Monday night to look at to start with.
Have you seen numbers? Local option tax went into effect for the city, October 1st?
October 1st, so it would have just wrapped up. And
still early, the first quarter just having ended.
So I haven't seen anything on that.
Yeah.
So, Richard, can I sort of go off topic?
Sure.
Do a little bit?
Sure.
I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Mike Kane.
Yep.
For those who don't know, Mike Kane was a special ed teacher at BFA and had since retired and did a lot of work in St. Albans City, St. Albans Town, and Fairfax on trails and trail construction. Mike was a driving force behind the 100-acre woods up in Fairfax. He did grooming at Hardack for cross-country skiing. He worked, I believe, I'm quite sure he worked on the St. Albans Town Forest.
Definitely.
Trails and project. And he died tragically over New Year's weekend. And it's just want to point out, he went about his business and got, not that he was looking for credit, but he was behind the scenes for sure, but made a substantial impact on outdoor recreation in the area. And it's, I was saddened by the tragic accident, and as were many people throughout the county. So Mike will be missed, and he left a standing impact on all three communities, if not more than that. So I don't know if you.
Nice words, Tim.
I don't know
Brendan,
if you
did
knew
you know
Mike or
Mike
I
well?
maybe my second year on the select board, we needed a parks committee. We had a working group on the town forest, and Mike was one of three main people that were doing that work. That it all came to a head with those renovations of those trail networks. And it was Mike, Jessica Frost, and Carrie Johnson, and the three of them together just worked really hard to make the town forest. And they had a vision for it that nobody else really shared. And I sat in on one meeting with them and thought, we just need to take this group of people, make it a little bit bigger, and call it the Parks Committee, and ask them to work on everything parks. Mike's energy, both for local youth and for recreation assets, was so infectious that you couldn't help by having, you have one conversation with him and you walk away feeling more optimistic about your community. I mean, he was just one of those really special community members that unfortunately he didn't get recognized enough in the course of his life, but I know that we'll do something in our town report for sure. We'll look at some type of a dedication at the town forest. Mike Kane, they don't make him like that anymore.
Nice words. Thanks
Yeah,
for mentioning that. I'm sorry I didn't know him.
No, he was a wonderful guy. And I worked for Mike at the high school for a semester many years ago. But he and I connected not only through that and through sports, but his father was the mayor of Burlington as well.
Oh, okay.
And so he used to tell me the stories of Burlington wasn't like it is today by any means, but he still had stories of what his father encountered as mayor. But Mike, you won't find a nicer guy or someone more committed to the community. So I'll just share a quick example. City School used to do walking Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month, and then during the good weather, every Wednesday, they would bring kids from all throughout the city, would have a walking route and walk to school, and they would tabulate them and make sure. But each group needed adult volunteers, and Mike would drive in, no kids, no nieces, no nephews, no grandkids, but Mike would drive in from Fairfax on those mornings and pick up with a group, from the southeast, southwest corner, and walk them all the way to, the city school, and then return to it. But no connection, but just the fact that they're promoting walking, and he wanted to be a part of it. He'd show up and walk with the kids, and that's just the type of guy he was.
Yeah, that's very, very nice. I'm happy to report that Michelle Monroe, when I talked to her a week or so ago, is alive and well. Both her parents, she was with her parents who are having some issues. But I just wanted to know, Michelle was certainly very helpful to us here on election night coverage, the former, of course, executive editor of the St. Albans Messenger. And again, she left her job a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Cameron Paquette, the new editor. Have you had any dealings with the new Messenger editor, Tim?
Cameron's reached out. We were going to try to get together last week, and we didn't connect. And then he threw me some dates this week, which I had failed to get back. So hopefully by the end of the week, he and I will connect. I did have a nice conversation with, and I went blank, but the new news reporter, Kate. And I don't know her, I didn't get her last name. But
Walensky, maybe? Something.
What is it?
Walensky, maybe? If I'm trying to remember. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so she and I had a good conversation last Friday, and new faces for sure at the Messenger. Michelle, I think I found out about Michelle's retirement just prior to our December council meeting. Yeah. And she was on the call more as a correspondent for other papers, and we acknowledged her retiring and thanked her, and she was a big help for the city of St. Albans going through the TIF process and everything else from years gone by, so.
Yeah, hard-working lady. I mean, executive editor. She had the Messenger and also the weekly papers. But again, I was, a frequent guest pretty much on Vermont This Week. I loved having her on, but I thought she did a great job around here, and wish her well. Boy, not the easiest time to be dealing with journalism and journalistic jobs, but certainly wish her well. But again, she certainly left her mark with a lot of years of very solid reporting around here. So Brendan, the town hall issue, the biggie for town meeting day.
Yeah, so we're working through the design process still. We're moving walls around still. We're relocating some things. It's been a very good process. I feel very fortunate to be able to work with the design team that we hired. The architecture firm that we hired to design our town hall is the same one that's doing City Place Burlington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Freeman, French and Freeman.
Sure, that's very well-known Vermont firm.
Absolutely. So we've got Ruggiano Engineering. Sam is working directly on the project, and he attends all of our design meetings, and I'm able to pick his brain if I have questions. We've got a good geotechnical firm and a good environmental site assessment company. We've got a good cost estimating company. I wish I could share a figure. I'm expecting something between $3.5 and $4 million to be on the ballot.
Yeah. And you need that'll be nailed down pretty soon, obviously.
Yeah, we're looking at next week, sometime next week. Hopefully, we get something. I know they're all working on it. The baseline's done. We have borings, geotechnical borings scheduled for Monday. We're literally paying a company to come drill into the ground, tell us what we have for soil, and provide reports to the structural engineer so that our foundation can be properly designed. I'm learning as a developer every day. It's been a real interesting process. I learned that the weight of this building will be felt 40 feet in the ground. So it's really hard. We're trying to essentially rush the site plan. So we're doing the best we can, and it's going to be a good project, and we need to do it. It's going to kickstart the revitalization of St. Albans Bay.
And again, no property taxes for this
None.
for the new town hall.
We are going to put down as much money as we can, cash on hand, from the local option tax. My estimate is around $2 million, and then we'll probably borrow another $1.5 to $2 million, but we'll pay the payments with the local option tax money, and still have hundreds of thousands of dollars left over out of that revenue after we make that annual payment. We're going to. We estimate that we'll receive between $850,000 and $900,000 a year. We can pay off that loan for this new town hall in 15 years and still have $700,000 left over every year after we make those debt payments. So we could very well decide that we want to accelerate the payment schedule and pay it off in 5 years. I think that's a discussion that the board will have after we get it built and moved into. But yeah, I mean, if a voter is listening, if you have any questions about this project, call 524-7589, extension 5. That's the town manager's line. We'll connect you with either the director of operations, the manager, or the manager's executive assistant. And you can always call me directly at 393-7074. Follow us on Facebook. Corey, our new director of operations, has got a 2-month-long public education campaign that's going to be centered on Facebook. So we're here to tell people all about it. It's going to be hard. We're going to spend a little bit of money on direct mail so that we can send 3 articles of mail to every voting household in the town. With information, how we're going to fund it, how much it's going to cost, why it's important, where it's going to be located.
Running into any people, there are some people who have concerns about anything. Running into any particular concerns about the project?
Well, I think a lot of people wonder why not the building we're in now.
Yeah.
I love that building we're in now. Every time I walk into it, I feel nostalgic. I mean, my grandfather went to grade school there. Grew up on Dunsmore Road right around the corner. I'm a 6th-generation resident of St. Albans. That's been the town hall since my family relocated here from Quebec in 1885. So I don't take moving municipal offices out of that building lightly. The big issue is the septic system's not even permitted for maybe 1 bedroom. It's 22 employees. It doesn't factor in much of a public meeting room at all. You know, we can renovate that building for probably $2.5 to $3 million, and it'll be a beautiful building, but you're confined. I mean, you might have 8,000 square feet of really usable space. This new building will be 13,000. This is a building that can be grown into, whereas the current town hall will provide, you know, space limitations within 15 to 20 years for almost the same investment.
So there's a current town hall, a little hard to picture. I think there's a future use of the current town hall.
There will have to be.
Yeah.
The future of a vibrant bay is going to be tied to the repurposing of that property. We know that the septic capacity, barring a very advanced system hitting the market in the next few years, is going to be very limited as to what we can do occupancy-wise, so it probably will never be housing. But we can look at the idea of, you know, NCSS operates Project SOAR at the Old Bay School. You know, we might approach them and offer a very, very low-cost lease for administrative offices. You know, we need to get people working in the Bay Area, driving there every day, and you know, we need to either repurpose this current town hall into a community center, or maybe the first floor could be some type of an office setting, and the upstairs, the old gymnasium, could be turned into some type of an auditorium, much like the city has in their beautiful city hall that was refurbished a few years ago. So, you know, we've got inspiration and options. I think we're going to get through, much like the Public Works project, which, you know, was wrapping up very well. The salt shed's done. We just need to get the pavement in the late spring, and we'll be totally done there. We're working, you know, we had Corey reach out to some people at Fish and Wildlife over what it would take to turn the old town garage property on Georgia Shore into a boat launch. That would work out extremely well for us. We've done an environmental site assessment. There's some contamination over by the salt shed, but it's remarkably better than what we thought we were getting into. We'd like to essentially take everything out, pave the whole thing, and put a couple of boat ramps in and take some pressure off at Hathaway Point, and drive some extra boating traffic into the bay to help them.
Is the state getting any feedback from the state at this point on that?
Well, I haven't seen the email, but I'm told that the director of Fish and Wildlife loved the idea and offered to help us find grant opportunities. So redeveloping that property into a public use, and then maybe even keeping a certain section of it marked off for overflow parking for the new town hall, since it'll be a walking distance away, right across Wharf Street. It just makes a lot of sense for us. So, like I said, there's 50 irons in the fire. I could literally rattle you off a list. It's an exciting time. It's a little daunting, but we know that, you know, Stan Dukas isn't going anywhere as far as that goes. He'll still be able to give us advice. And Brian Delorier and his background with the city's recreation commission, and, you know, being a justice of the peace, and we know that we're getting somebody. He's a financial advisor, former 8th grade math teacher, so he's really seen everything that a good select person would need to see. So we feel like we're very well positioned with our staff, with our volunteers, our board. You know, hopefully in a couple months. You know, it's a good time for St. Albans Town. We're really excited.
Tim, with the city again, March town meeting day, obviously the budget will be a big issue. Any particular articles of note, you know, out of the ordinary coming up on March 2?
Yeah, the two big ones will be the approval bond for the new water tank up on Congress Street, and then we hope to have the pool discussion for sure.
So looks like the pool will be on the ballot for March 2?
That's the expectation, yeah.
Yeah.
And at our last meeting, we had a discussion about whether we want to try to present the dome over the pool or keep it a seasonal pool, and we're going to be looking at numbers for both and see which one we want to go forward with. So
Interesting. So the dome at this moment is still a possibility?
it's still a possibility, yeah. And the thinking is the dome would be another $1.5 million, but you would get 7-8 more months worth of use out of it.
Wow.
So does it make sense to go that route and get year-round use, or just focus on the point was made that it would be heated, but, you know, I think a lot of people want to go swimming when it's hot out for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where your good numbers will come from. you're going to be limited in the scope of when that will be. So I think the dome gives you a lot more flexibility when it comes to programming, for sure. So
Interesting. And again, this, of course, would be located at Hardak.
at Hardak, yeah, in the same, pretty much the same spot that was proposed
Right.
a year ago. You know, I give credit to the city manager, Dominic. You know, you go up there today or over the weekend, you know, the environment for physical fitness and recreation is just, you know, it really has an excellent feel to it. You know, especially with the lodge being done, you know, you've got people cross-country skiing, sliding. Hopefully skiing will be up and running soon.
I told you I walked up there the other day, really impressed with the great new signs that you folks that were put up.
And you know, cross-country runs, Tyler Magnan organizes. So it's just it'll be an epicenter of recreation moving forward. And, you know, add the pool to that, a tennis court, basketball court, whatever, down the road. It'll just be a recreation destination for not only city, town, but the entire county.
Huh.
So-
Yeah, in my early days up here, I can flash back in my mind too when there
There's
were
4
some tennis courts
yeah.
out there.
Wind was the issue, right?
That's funny. I was about, and you took the words out of my mouth. Maybe just like at Collins Pearly, boy, I can remember some very windy tennis days
Yeah,
out there.
they tried to screen it with all the pine trees and, yeah, so that's, you know, I think he's right that, you know, if you go up there on any given Saturday, you know, the activity is immense. So, you know, if we can pull the pool off, I think it'll really solidify the future of Hardak and making it a recreation
Right.
destination.
As we talked about last show, I guess Morris Mo Montcalm, the new permanent police chief. So.
Yeah, definitely excited about that. He's done a great job he did a great job as the interim chief and came to the table with a lot of good ideas, and so we're excited to move forward with Mo for sure. I think he'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, and of course, next 6 months, obviously, some downsizing of the department with the sheriff's department taking over town coverage.
Probably more through attrition than anything.
Right.
That's our hope. So we hope that's going to be the case. And then, you know, we're continuing to look at where our options are moving forward. We're still connected with Highgate. I'm not sure that comes to an end, I think, in July, so that'll be another discussion we have.
Yeah. Anyway, so looking forward, a challenging year. Boy, if we can just kind of make progress on the coronavirus, but hopefully at some point in 2021, things will start turning around, hopefully. Huh?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, as most people know, I'm huge on the community events and trying to get those in place. And I think people are itching to sort of get back out and interact and you know, concerts, small stuff like concerts in the park, the wine and cheese, all the events we've done.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people miss those events, the ones at the Bay that were canceled, as well as the standard ones for the city, which were, you know, Festival of Trees, Tractor Parade. Last night, you know, we had people calling, asking about fireworks for last night.
Yeah.
You know, people want those activities, I think, and the sooner we get back to those, I think the better. And you know, we've had a lot of people move into town and city, and you know, part of me really wants to showcase those activities and give them a reason why they, you know, try to support why they did move here.
Yeah. Down to about 30 seconds, Brendan. Again, like I said, challenging times. The virus situation still pretty
Definitely.
tough, but hopefully down the road we'll start working out of this.
Yeah, no, we've taken over the Great Race and Bay Day from the Chamber of Commerce, so that's a town event now. I want to end our half-hour show by commending the City Council and the Mayor and the Manager for hiring Chief Lamoth. Absolute great pick. Best thing for our community. So great.
Okay, got to go. Thanks to Brendan Deso, the St. Albans Town Select Board Chairman, St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith, and our producer Roger Lindola. I'm Richard Cowperthwait. See you next time.